Welcome back to the program. You're watching Newsnight now. The collection of signatures and the BBI process is meant to kick off tomorrow at the KICC, led by President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga. Now, sources have indicated to Citizen TV that only minimal changes have been made to the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020, despite calls for consensus building to thrash out recommendations deemed contentious. I want to get a quick reaction from my guests who are here with me in studio. We've got the Senator for Kericho, Aaron Cheriot, together with the Senator for Homa Bay, Moses Kajwang. To both of you, welcome to the program. And let me start with you, Aaron Cheriot. Collection of signatures kicks off tomorrow. In your view, consensus? If not, what became of consensus?
Consensus talk, BBI just became BBI. Everything about it is shrouded in mystery. It's treated like a contraband product where only a few of the known users are allowed access to it. It's really sad, it's unfortunate, but what to do? So we will wait for tomorrow, get to hear what they say, whether they have accommodated the views of many millions of Kenyans who raised issues on the initial document, then take a decision. Because I can assure you, even our colleagues who are on the right side of the political divide, so to put it, and who are granted the opportunity to make their presentations on issues they considered that needed a bit of being properly cleared up before the launch of the document. Up to now, I had lunch with one of them, and he said, since that time, those guys no longer pick my call. That after I raised my issues in public, I was called to some office in Runda. I was told, speak to these guys. He gave me the names of the people. But since then, nobody talks to them. So you don't know whether those views have been accommodated or not. That's BBI for you.
And you can't name your sources here, can you? The person you're having lunch with? I hope
they're my colleagues.
Is it the man next to you?
No. Moses Kajwang is, it's not him.
It's not him.
Yeah.
Moses Kajwang, you come in on this one. A big process kicking off tomorrow. Let me start by getting your thoughts on the way in which it is being handled and the concerns that Aaron Cheriot has raised tonight.
Well, it's obvious that Aaron has been talking to the wrong people. He ought to have talked to me. I would have given him more information than he has. But he still did not have to talk to me, because all that is happening is in the public domain. Everyone knew that last week there was supposed to be the launch of the signature collection. It was pushed forward by 1 week. All the timelines and all the actions from the time Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta shook hands on the steps of Arambe Avenue, or on steps of the president's office on Arambe Avenue, they've been public. The work of the task force has been public. We were all in Bomas, and in Bomas I remember my friend Kipchumba Murkomen, with whom we sit in the Senate, made a very impassioned speech at Bomas. The deputy president made a very impassioned speech at Bomas. So there's been no voodoo, there's been no clandestine issue about this. And you know, Waiga, democracy is about the majority having their way and the minority having their say. The clock is ticking to the next elections. We need to fix certain issues that cause violence in every cycle of election. You have seen people are now talking about post-election violence. A matter that should have been fixed almost 8 years ago is still rearing its head today because we decided to bury our heads in the sand.
And you believe in the BBI are the solutions to what you've just raised. And that was a discussion for later, but you brought it up now.
I am very convinced that the BBI has got very good policy, constitutional and statutory proposals that will deal with the problem of divisive elections, that will deal with the problem of inclusivity, and that will deal with the problem of winner takes it all, which has been the root cause of the violence at every election in this country.
And in 30 seconds, tell me this, the signature collection being moved from last week to this week, what changed in that period? What changed from last week to today?
I don't speak for the task force. I don't speak for the team. So that will be revealed tomorrow during the launch.
Okay. Aaron, one last word. I know we're coming back to delve deeper into this, but I don't know if you want to respond to anything.
Moses Kajwang confirms our worst fears, that this is an exclusive elitist affair that isn't open to anybody who has a divergent view, let alone the fact that they know so well that a constitution governs the 47 million of us. You don't have to agree with me politically for me to be granted my right as a citizen of this country. And let's even forget the politicians. What about the rest of the citizens? We saw the church and almost all religious sectors. We saw different independent institutions give their reaction to this particular process. You work in the media, Wahiga. I am sure you haven't seen any avenue provided for them to share these views that they have.
Don't speak on my behalf.
No, but I am certain if I was to ask you, Have you seen any avenue provided
Let me be the one
for
to ask,
all the people that have raised issues?
Let me be the one to ask the questions.
Let's not get
Briefly
distracted.
tell me this. What would consensus have meant for you to change your tone tonight?
Consensus will have made that we accommodate at least, you do not have to agree, but at least show me that you have listened to my concerns and have accommodated them in one way or the other.
Okay.
We do not have to find a final solution and say that we go to a particular direction. But with this kind of arrogance and the kind of attitude that is being displayed...
Now you're going to make me have to give him a right of reply.
No. I haven't said Moses is arrogant, but the drivers of the BBI process, the people that he speaks for here tonight.
Okay, we're going to carry on with this conversation. Senator Kajwang, I'll give you a chance to respond after we finish with some stories. Let's get to that. We have a lot to get into that interview. Clearly, we've barely scratched the surface. Consensus, contentious.